Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready for a side-splitting, gut-busting, knee-slapping good time? Oh wait, that's horse-slapping good time. Then strap in, because we're about to dive headfirst into the wacky world of Heaven's Lost Property. The anime that will give you ligma balls, and the anime where the angels aren't holy at all. Spoilers ahead. Tomoki Sakurai wants to enjoy peace and quiet, but he has recurring dreams that involve an angel. Probably with big honker badonkers. When classmate Aishiro Sugata spots in the sky an abnormal structure that resembles a black hole, he convinces Tomoki, childhood neighbor Sohara Mitsuki, and student council president Mikoko Satsukitane to join him for an investigation at a cherry blossom. Tomoki, being the only who shows up, witnesses a girl with wings falls through the hole, along with several large pillars, scaring him to death. He overcomes his fears and rescues this girl, who calls herself Ikaros. Calling herself a pet-classed angeloid from an unknown world called Synapse, she considers Tomoki as her master and tells him that she can grant him any wish. Using this to his advantage, including a perverted scene, he gets carried away with what he would wish for. I mean, who wouldn't for those? When Tomoki jokingly commands Ikaros to make him ruler of the world, this only causes everyone to vanish, since nobody would accept him as such. Ikaros suggests killing herself, seeing how upset Tomoki is, to which he affirms. As she creates a gun and readies to shoot herself, Tomoki stops her and says it was only a joke. Although he cannot undo the wish, he is able to make a different one, wishing that this was all a bad dream. Tomoki wakes up and everything is back to normal, except Ikaros is here to stay. After introducing her to Sugata and Mikako at school, Tomoki dismisses Ikaros to his home, but she leaves him with a special card. After Sohara trips and falls in class, Tomoki notices she is wearing panties with a dog print, but he subconsciously wishes she would change them. But the card activates and Sohara's panties immediately come off and fly to the sky like a bird. Japan at it again. Sohara rushes to the New World Discovery Club room, but whatever she puts on is also sent flying. When Ikaros returns, Tomoki wishes for panties, but this results in having them instantly pulled from all the schoolgirls. Sugata determines that Tomoki must be expecting a particular pair, so Ikaros and Mikako shop for a large selection of panties while the boys escort the young girl handcuffed home, during which Tomoki shields against any accidental exposure. Sohara tries the panties, but they are all sent flying, except for one that is a similar dog print as her original, releasing Sohara from the handcuffs. Tomoki recalls when Sohara was practicing breaking slabs and he pulled her pants down, revealing a cute print of puppies, which fueled Sohara into breaking the slabs easily. Frustrated with their math homework, Tomoki and Sohara look for Sugata, running around town until Mikako directs them to his residence, which is an outdoor campsite. After Sugata helps them, he informs them that the black hole may still be hovering in the sky, but Ikaros sees no sign of this. Later, Ikaros is given a shopping list of curry ingredients, and Tomoki tells Ikaros to behave like a normal human. As Ikaros goes shopping, Tomoki and friends tail her. She gets the ingredients except for meat, for which she buys a cute baby chick, leaving them with cooking vegetable curry. The gang goes fishing, but Ikaros surprises everyone with a giant fish from the Amazon River. Sugata questions her superior physical abilities and flying speed, yet contradictory lack of math ability and not being able to see the new world in the sky. Sugata confronts her asking what she is exactly, but Ikaros does not know and just wants to please her master even though she messes things up. The flock of panties returns to Tomoki after circumnavigating the globe, using them as decorations around his house, but an upset Sohara shreds the ones in his room in retaliation. Ikaros allows Sohara to use of her cards to make panties explode whenever Tomoki touches them or even looks at them for a day. With Tomoki trapped in his house, Sohara and Ikaros go shopping. Sohara shares a story of how Tomoki helped celebrate her otherwise lonely birthday. Later, Tomoki makes one last mad dash out of the house, but bumps into Sohara, landing his face on her crotch and causing another explosion. After Tomoki regains consciousness, Sugata and Mikako tell him that Sohara is stuck in his house, prompting him to rescue her, even though anybody else could have saved her, as he will probably be blown up inside. Sohara, without panties on, dodges Tomoki's searching but stumbles into his bedroom, activating a panty robot that guards his pornographic magazines. Tomoki eventually defeats the robot, destroying his house and rescuing Sohara to the cheers of the neighbors. until he notices Sohara's thighs and subconsciously pokes Sohara, who blushes and karate chops him. Man, we've never seen panties as a major villain in an anime before. Knowing that Tomoki needs a place to stay, Mikako offers him to stay at her home, and they bring along their friends as well. It turns out Mikako's family are influential yakuza. After dinner, Tomoki stumbles into Mikako at an outdoor bath, who casually informs him that his trespassing violates a family law where he must be decapitated. Ikaros stops the executioner with a brief display of her power. The next morning, Tomoki finds they are on a plane to an uninhabited island as an alternative punishment instituted by Mikako. Man, only if we all got punishments like these. They split up to search for food and items, but Tomoki eats a mushroom and passes out. Tomoki hears yelling and rescues Sohara, but everyone else is gone, so the two spend the next few weeks enjoying island life until a sea monster grabs Sohara. Tomoki attacks the monster, which is actually Ikaros, covered in shells and seaweed, who has returned with a big tuna. Tomoki asks where Shugata and Mikako are, and Ikaros does a scan and then knocks down a wall panel to a room where Mikako's family and Shugata have been watching them the entire time to their amusement. Later, Tomoki and Ikaros return to find his house restored, thanks to Mikako's father, who likes Ikaros and respects her power. Tomoki finds a second angeloid known as Beta-class Nymph in his living room. The New World Discovery Club, as well as the two angeloids, all go to the beach. Tomoki promises to go boating with Sohara, but neglects her in order to teach Ikaros how to properly swim. Sohara heads off by herself, thinking back to when Tomoki tried teaching her, but soon finds herself far from shore. Sohara falls overboard trying to retrieve her paddle, but fortunately Tomoki, assisted by Nymph, rescues her. Tomoki apologizes and Sohara forgives him, until he neglects her again to review swimming with Ikaros, which earns him karate chops. Later that night, Ikaros tells Tomoki how she does not sleep, and the two go back to the beach. Nymph follows them, but is attacked by a group of delinquents. When Tomoki attempts to intervene, Ikaros stops the delinquents using her angeloid abilities, causing them to flee. Out of boredom and curiosity, Ikaros and Nymph join Tomoki and Sohara's class as transfer students. Sohara relishes the chance to help the angeloids with school life, but they surpass her in all tasks, leaving her depressed. The angeloids are quickly hit on by every guy in school. At science class, Ikaros shows up as a guest teacher, with the subject of flying, while Sugata and Mikako sit in on the fun. Ikaros encourages flying and Tomoki volunteers, using a pair of wings that Sugata has crafted. He flies for a moment before crashing to the ground. As Tomoki recovers, Ikaros and Nymph are reading the love letters, but do not understand them. While no one else is around, Nymph grabs Ikaros' forehead and checks her protection levels, seeing they are at 100%, which explains her passive doll-like behavior. Nymph then reveals that Ikaros is an extremely powerful angeloid known as the Alpha-class Uranus Queen. The gang attends a festival at the Satsuketane Shrine, with a quirk gun survival contest as a highlight of the event. Tomoki soon finds himself hunted by many of the local townsfolk wanting the 10 million yen prize until Shugata and Mikako snipe them. Shugata then duels Mikako with pistols to a draw, until Ikaros arrives and guns everyone down. Tomoki dismisses Ikaros, who meets up with Nymph, who asks her how it felt to slaughter people like she used to. Ikaros insists she is just a pet-class angeloid, but Nymph disagrees and removes her protection levels. As the awakened Uranus Queen, Ikaros easily overpowers Nymph, but spares her life, telling her to return to the Synapse. Tomoki returns to the shooting range man, who reveals he mixed real bullets with some of the fake ones. Sohara shows up with the real bullets and chases Tomoki to the shrine until Ikaros saves him by taking a headshot. After easily defeating Tomoki and Sohara, the shooting range man wins the contest, splitting the prize money back with Mikako, later as Tomoki scolds Ikaros not to risk her life like that. Ikaros begins to cry. At Synapse, after being scolded by her superiors for failing to bring back Ikaros, Nymph begs for another chance. Tomoki and the gang head to a fair. Tomoki spots an erotic DVD at a booth, but cannot afford it because Ikaros broke some other item. After Tomoki tells Ikaros to act more human, she overhears a couple talk about lying as being human, so she proceeds to tell her friends the opposite of what she means, leaving Tomoki and Sohara depressed. Nymph first deciding to kidnap Tomoki, who is busy peeping on a couple making out, ends up working with him to raise money by opening a flea market booth with different ideas, none of which work at all. Nymph then makes Tomoki irresistible to women by jamming their cool guy senses, which causes a large group of girls to swarm around him as a host club gentleman until Nymph cancels the jamming. Tomoki thanks Nymph, who begins to doubt her loyalty to her old master. Ikaros eventually reveals to the gang that she was telling lies to try to fit in, which relieves Tomoki and Suhara. That night, Ikaros wants to know how Tomoki really feels about her. Tomoki shares a story about how he was alone, and how when she and Nymph vanished he was so worried. Ikaros then kisses Tomoki. If you want a part 2 to this recap, get us to 50 likes, and make sure to subscribe.